Have you ever wondered why some of the biggest, most powerful companies in history collapsed almost overnight? Or why billionaires like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates both call this one book the best business book they've ever read? Imagine holding in your hands not just a book, but a time machine that takes you inside the boardrooms, the crises, and the turning points that shaped American business as we know it. Today, we're diving deep into Business Adventures by John Brooks. Originally written in the 1960s, this book is a timeless masterpiece of business storytelling. It's not a textbook filled with formulas. It's a collection of 12 gripping stories about real companies, real leaders, and real mistakes. And the lessons inside? They are just as relevant for entrepreneurs, investors, and professionals today as they were 50 years ago. Bill Gates famously said that when he asked Warren Buffett for the best business book he'd ever read, Buffett didn't hesitate. He sent him Business Adventures. Think about that. Two of the richest, smartest people on the planet agree on this one book. That alone should make you curious. Now, let's unpack some of the most powerful ideas from Business Adventures that can change the way you look at business forever. One of the most fascinating stories in the book is about Xerox. Back then, Xerox wasn't just a company, it was a revolution. They invented the modern copier and dominated the market so completely that their name literally became a verb. People didn't say, make a copy. They said, Xerox it. But here's the lesson. Even when you're on top, success is never guaranteed. Xerox became so comfortable with their monopoly that they failed to innovate, opening the door for competitors. The story reminds us that in business, the moment you stop moving forward, you start falling behind. Think about companies today like Blockbuster or Nokia. They too were once giants, but they ignored the signs of change. And for us as entrepreneurs, the message is crystal clear. Never get complacent. Always stay hungry, always keep innovating. Another unforgettable chapter is about Ford's Edsel, a car that was hyped as the next big thing in the 1950s. Ford invested hundreds of millions in development and marketing, only for it to flop spectacularly. It was such a disaster that the name Edsel became synonymous with failure. But here's what's important. The Edsel wasn't just about a bad car. It was about misunderstanding the market. Ford assumed people wanted something flashy and futuristic, but buyers were moving towards smaller, more practical cars. They didn't listen to the customer. And that lesson is golden. Whether you're building a startup or launching a product, you can't afford to ignore what people actually want. Market research, listening to feedback, and understanding human behavior will save you millions in mistakes. Brooks also dives into the chaos of Wall Street. One story about the stock market in the early 1960s reveals something profound. Markets aren't driven by pure logic. They're driven by human emotions, fear, greed, excitement, panic. Those forces shape the rise and fall of stocks far more than spreadsheets ever will. If you've ever seen a stock skyrocket for no apparent reason or crash despite good fundamentals, you've witnessed this truth. For investors and entrepreneurs, the lesson is that you can't just study the numbers. You have to understand psychology. You have to understand people. That's why Buffett always says investing is about temperament, not IQ. And this book shows you why. One of the most riveting stories in Business Adventures is about the Texas Gulf sulfur scandal, one of the first major insider trading cases in American history. Company insiders discovered a massive ore deposit and quietly bought up stock before the news went public. When the secret broke, the SEC cracked down hard. What does this teach us? Simple. Shortcuts and shady practices eventually catch up with you. In business, reputation is everything. Once you lose trust, you lose everything. For entrepreneurs, this story is a reminder that building a business is a marathon, not a sprint. Integrity isn't just nice to have, it's the foundation of long-term success. So how can you start applying these lessons today, even before reading the book? First, take a hard look at your business or career. Are you getting comfortable? Ask yourself, if a smarter, faster competitor came along tomorrow, how would you survive? Second, whenever you're creating something, whether it's a product, a service, or even content, make sure you're listening to your audience, not just your own assumptions. Third, if you're investing or trading, remember that the market is human. Study psychology, study behavior, and always check your emotions before making decisions. And finally, commit to playing the long game with integrity. The people who win in the end are not the ones who cut corners, but the ones who build trust brick by brick. And here's the thing. What I've shared with you today is just the surface. Each of the 12 stories in Business Adventures is a journey in itself, filled with drama, lessons, and unforgettable characters. It's not just educational, it's entertaining. It reads like a novel, but it leaves you wiser with every page. If you're serious about business, finance, or entrepreneurship, this book belongs on your shelf. Honestly, it's the kind of book you'll come back to again and again because the lessons don't expire. I highly recommend getting your own copy. So, what do you think? Are you ready to explore the adventures of business success and failure for yourself? If you enjoyed this breakdown, you'll definitely want to check out my other videos. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss insights like these. Thanks for watching, and remember, the best way to prepare for the future is to learn from the past. See you in the next video. Bye.